Guys, on this clip that you're about to watch, we unfortunately had some audio issues with it lagging and cutting out, but it's still a great segment on Christian McCaffrey's new contract, so check it out and make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
There is some news in the NFL. We don't have games going on, but there is news. Christian McCaffrey got paid this week. Signed a 4-year extension, averaging $16 million a year. How do we feel about this contract?
Christian McCaffrey is still so young that I actually don't hate the contract. He's 24. He's not even 24 yet.
23.
He's 23. He's 23. So when this contract is up, he'll be 27, 28. I don't know. I can't do math like that. So that's really why I don't hate the deal. People leaving on the one to get paid at 27 years old, and that kind of made sense why I wanted to pay him. But if he's only 23, I don't hate the deal, even though that's a lot for a running back.
Yeah, I was going to say, the fact that he's 23 for me is what does it, because this man, there's a couple things that were sent out today throughout the Twitterverse that kind of grabbed my attention as far as stats, which I'll get to in a minute. But the fact that he's so young, I don't hate at all paying this man right now, because you were still getting him probably right before his prime, and what he's done in his first 3 seasons is incredible. He is, according, who was it? Evan Kaplan, who's a stats guy over at ESPN. He tweeted this out. McCaffrey is the only player in NFL history in his first 3 seasons to have 2,500 rushing yards and 2,500 receiving yards. The guy is arguably, you can make the argument, there are players like him, but there is nobody performing on the level he's playing. Like, even if you look at Alvin Kamara, who would be considered kind of that dual threat running back, out of the backfield and run the ball, he still isn't putting up the numbers he has. There was another stat line which even makes this crazier, and some of this is cherry picked, and I usually hate these where they just like cherry pick certain things to make guys look really good, but this is astounding, the list. Paul Heppenkins, I don't know. Sorry if I mispronounced your name there, bud. He tweeted, I wasn't the one who did this. But in his first 3 seasons, McCaffrey on rush yards has 2,920. Marcus Allen in his first 3 years, 2,879. Receiving yards, McCaffrey, he has 2,523 receiving yards his first 3 seasons. Marvin Harrison, 2,478 receiving yards. Receptions, McCaffrey has 303 receptions. DeAndre Hopkins in his first 3 years, 239 receptions. Yards from scrimmage, 5,443 yards. Barry Sanders, 5,391 yards. This man is a monster, which is, I mean, every one of those names will be written in the history books, Hall of Famers, and he is outperforming them in the first 3 years in those individual characters or categories. This man does everything, and he does it well. So $16 million a year before he's even 27, I have no problem paying with him. I mean, if you think of, because even if he says takes a lot of damage as a running back, you could still move him to slot, and he'd still be a hell of a slot receiver.
Absolutely.
Adam Thielen's getting $16 million a year as a slot receiver, and this man not only can run the ball like a freak, but he can catch the ball like a freak, and he's getting the same money as Adam Thielen. So I have no problem with the money situation.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up those numbers, and that's like insane. Also, he had a good rookie season, but it wasn't even a great rookie season. A lot of these numbers are really from the last 2 seasons, which makes it even more ridiculous. And another player who's comparable to him, I think, came out the same year as him, but injuries got moved to like Alvin Cook as well. You know, to go with Alvin Kamara, but even Alvin Cook, like compared to Christian McCaffrey, they have kind of a similar ability, but McCaffrey puts them on the field week in, week out. And like I said, his age, like we both said, his age is just really what gets it. And last year, he kind of seems like he's fading away, but you're not really sure about it. You can just franchise him now on 5th year. So, it's a great contract.
Yeah, it is. It's astounding, and some people are being like, honestly, this was a bad move because he could have played another year under his rookie contract, and then they could have franchised him, like you said. But that's kind of the shitty way to handle it, and I think the Panthers realized the face of our franchise is now gone in Cam Newton. McCaffrey's really been probably the face of your franchise the last 2 years, maybe a year and a half or so. But definitely last year was the first year franchise. Going forward, he's your most marketable player by far. He doesn't have any off-the-field issues. He seems to take care of his body really well from everything that I was kind of looking up because I was like, all right, looking more into Christian McCaffrey. I know what he does on the field. I don't really know much off the field. The guy doesn't have any issues off the field. He's really durable. It makes a lot of sense, which sucks, though, for every other GM in the league as they look at this. They're going, motherfucker. Now I got to pay all these, like, running backs, and I made this argument in the playoffs last year when we saw Derrick Henry go off. Running backs have been devalued a lot, I think, in the NFL. There's a real mentality of, like, whatever. We can just go draft a guy, except for maybe, like, the top 4 guys. Like, I can just go draft a quality guy, burn him out on his first contract, and then go get another one. Running backs are a problem when you don't have them, and they're a luxury when you have them, I think, at this point. But there is a value set there. He just rose that bar. And people like Barkley who are going to come up on contracts, Alvin Kamara is still on his rookie deal right now. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that just saw that price tag, and GMs are going, God damn it. Like, look at now what we're going to have to do.
Their eyes lit up, but honestly, I think it's a really good move from the Panthers because, like, he had another year, then they could have franchised him. But then they know they're going to give him a big contract. So why not give him this big contract early, pay him until he's 27, not until he's 29?
Yeah.
The 29 is really when running backs, especially running backs of his workload, start to deteriorate. So, yeah, pay him now because you know you're giving him the big contract. So it's a really good move for the Panthers.
Yeah, get it out of the way. And who knows? Maybe they can figure out a way. I mean, they got Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe they can be one of those teams that figures out, hey, we actually can build around a running back and flips it because the NFL goes through crazy little things like swings of like on how to build teams out. Maybe it is a guy who can literally do everything for you at a high level. He can run the ball and catch the ball like nobody else right now in the backfield statistically. And that's something of value, especially to a guy like Teddy Bridgewater who hasn't been a starter in a long time. I mean, hell, we were talking about whether Kyle Allen might be the future quarterback of this team literally only because Christian McCaffrey was doing everything for them. Like,
everything
Kyle Allen did was step out there and not throw interceptions initially. And we're like, holy shit, maybe this guy could be it. But in reality, it was just Christian McCaffrey was doing everything. So having him to shoulder the load as Teddy Bridgewater steps back into a starting role is going to be super helpful. And like I said, that's their added benefit of like, hey, if he starts to diminish a little bit or you want to save him, there's the real possibility you can just make him a slot wide receiver and go draft another high-quality running back in the draft, and then you're still paying him money that a top slot wide receiver is, and there's no doubt in my mind that he'd be a top wide or slot wide receiver if that was his only position. So I'm cool with this.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.